The gym was silent, except for the heavy breathing of the fighters on the mat. Everyone's eyes were glued to the center, where Lila, a quiet woman with messy brown hair and a plain gray t-shirt, stood face to face with Marcus, a towering black belt champion. His smirk was sharp, like a knife cutting through the air. Lila's hands trembled, but her eyes burned with something fierce. Nobody expected this. Nobody thought Lila, the simple woman who'd been laughed at for weeks, could step onto the mat with him. 14 seconds. That's all it took. The whistle blew, and Marcus lunged, his muscles flexing like a lion pouncing. Lila ducked, quick as a shadow, and twisted behind him. Her arms snaked around his neck, her legs locked around his waist. The crowd gasped. Marcus thrashed, his face turning red, but Lila held tight. Then tap. Marcus slapped the mat, surrendering. The room exploded in whispers. Lila, the nobody, had just forced a black belt to give up in 14 seconds. But as she stood, panting, something wasn't right. Marcus's face twisted with anger. He stormed off the mat, shoving past his friends. The other students stared at Lila, some with awe, others with jealousy. Her best friend, Mia, ran to her, shouting, "You did it!" But Lila didn't smile. Her eyes darted to the gym door, where a strange man in a dark jacket stood watching. He wasn't clapping. He wasn't even moving. He just stared, his cold gaze locking onto Lila. Who was he? And why did her stomach twist when she saw him? Lila wasn't always a fighter. Just 3 months ago, she was a shy 28-year-old who worked at a grocery store stacking cans and avoiding eye contact. She lived in a tiny apartment with her cat, Whiskers, and spent her nights reading old mystery books. Lila was ordinary too ordinary, some said. Her clothes were plain, her hair was always a mess, and she never spoke unless she had to. But deep inside, Lila carried a secret. When she was a kid, her older brother taught her a few jujitsu moves before he left home and never came back. Those memories were all she had of him, and they burned in her heart like a candle that never went out. One day, Lila saw a flyer for a jujitsu class at the local gym. Something pulled her to it, like a whisper from her past. She signed up, nervous but hopeful. The first day was awful. The other students, all strong and confident, laughed at her clumsy steps. "Go back to your books, nerd," one guy shouted. Marcus, the black belt, was the worst. He called her Plain Jane and said she'd never last a week. Lila wanted to quit, but her brother's voice echoed in her mind. "Keep going, Lila. You're tougher than you think." Each class got harder. Lila tripped, fell, and got pinned every time. The others mocked her, saying she didn't belong. But Lila kept coming back, practicing alone at night, copying moves she saw in videos. She didn't know why she pushed so hard, but something inside her refused to give up. Mia, the only person who was kind to her, cheered her on, saying, "You've got heart, Lila." Still, the laughter stung, and Marcus's cruel words cut deep. Then came the day of the big tournament. Lila wasn't supposed to fight. She was just a beginner. But when a spot opened up, Mia dared her to try. "Show them what you've got," she said. Lila was terrified, but she stepped onto the mat. Nobody expected her to face Marcus. Nobody expected her to win. Now, as she stood there, the gym buzzing with shock, that strange man in the dark jacket kept staring. Lila's heart raced. Had she made a mistake? Was her victory a fluke? Or was something bigger happening, something she didn't understand yet? As the crowd whispered and Marcus glared from the corner, the man in the jacket took a step closer, his eyes never leaving her. What did he want? The gym lights buzzed overhead as Lila stood frozen, her victory over Marcus still sinking in. The crowd's whispers swirled around her like a storm, but her eyes were locked on the man in the dark jacket. He hadn't moved closer, but his stare felt like a weight pressing on her chest. Mia tugged at her arm, grinning. "Lila, you're a legend. You beat Marcus. Can you believe it? Lila forced a small smile, but her stomach churned. Something about that man felt wrong. The tournament referee called for the next match, and the crowd's attention shifted. Lila slipped off the mat, her sneakers squeaking on the floor. She grabbed her water bottle and headed toward the locker room, hoping to escape the stares. But as she passed the gym door, the man in the jacket was gone. She blinked, scanning the room. Had she imagined him? No, he'd been real. Too real. The days after the tournament were strange. Lila went back to her quiet life at the grocery store, stacking cans and ringing up customers. But her mind kept replaying those 14 seconds. Marcus's shocked face, the crowd's gasps, that man's cold eyes. At night, she practiced jujitsu moves in her tiny apartment, Whiskers watching from the couch. She felt stronger, but also scared. Why had beating Marcus felt so important? And why couldn't she shake the feeling that someone was watching her? At the next jujitsu class, things were different. Some students gave Lila shy nods, like they respected her now. Others, Marcus's friends, shot her dirty looks. Marcus himself wasn't there. He's taking a break, the coach said gruffly. Lila's heart sank. Had she embarrassed him so badly he quit? She didn't mean to hurt anyone. She just wanted to prove she wasn't plain Jane. The coach, a tough woman named Coach Tara, pulled Lila aside after class. "You've got something special, kid," she said, her eyes serious. "That move you pulled on Marcus? Most beginners couldn't dream of it. Where'd you learn that?" Lila shrugged, her cheeks red. "My brother taught me some stuff when I was little." Coach Tara raised an eyebrow. "Your brother must have been good. Keep training, Lila. You could be great." Lila left the gym feeling lighter, like maybe she did belong. But as she walked home under the streetlights, a chill ran down her spine. Footsteps echoed behind her. She turned, but the street was empty. Just the wind, she told herself. Still, she clutched her keys tightly, her heart pounding. When she got home, she locked the door and checked it twice. Whiskers meowed, rubbing against her legs. "I'm okay," Lila whispered, but her voice shook. The next morning, Mia burst into the grocery store, her eyes wide. "Lila, you won't believe this!" She held up her phone, showing a video of Lila's match with Marcus. It had gone viral on the internet, with thousands of views. The comments called her the underdog queen. Lila's face went pale. "How did this get online?" she asked. Mia shrugged. "Someone at the gym must have recorded it. You're famous now." Lila didn't want fame. Fame meant attention, and attention made her nervous. That night, she couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about her brother, his old jiu-jitsu lessons, and why he left without a word. Did her win have something to do with him? As she tossed and turned, her phone buzzed with a new message from an unknown number. Her hand shook as she opened it. The message was short. "You're stronger than you know, but be careful. They're watching." Lila's breath caught. Who was they? Was it the man in the jacket? Or someone else? She stared at the phone, her heart racing. Outside, a shadow moved past her window, quick and silent. She jumped up, peering through the curtains, but the street was dark and still. Fear clawed at her chest. Her win over Marcus was supposed to be a good thing, but now it felt like the start of something dangerous. As she sat in the dark, gripping her phone, a loud knock pounded at her door. Who was there? The knock on Lila's door echoed like thunder in her tiny apartment. Her heart jumped to her throat. Whiskers hissed, his fur puffing up as he stared at the door. Lila gripped her phone, the mysterious text still glowing on the screen. "You're stronger than you know, but be careful. They're watching." Another knock, louder this time. She tiptoed to the door, her bare feet cold on the floor, and peeked through the peephole. It was Mia, her face pale and her eyes wide. Lila let out a shaky breath and opened the door. Lila! Thank goodness! Mia burst in, clutching her jacket. I saw someone outside your building, a guy in a dark jacket, just standing there staring up at your window. Lila's stomach dropped. The man from the gym. Did you see his face? She asked, her voice barely a whisper. Mia shook her head. It was too dark, but it creeped me out. What's going on, Lila? First that video goes viral, now this? Lila showed Mia the text. Mia's eyes widened even more. Who sent this? And who's they? Lila didn't know, but the fear in her chest was growing. She told Mia about the man at the tournament, his cold stare, and how he vanished. Mia paced the room. This is getting weird. Maybe your win over Marcus stirred something up. He's got a lot of fans, you know. Some of them are intense. The next day, Lila went to jujitsu class with a knot in her stomach. She couldn't stop thinking about the text, the man, and the shadow outside her window. The gym felt different now, like every pair of eyes was hiding a secret. Coach Tara noticed Lila's distraction during drills. Focus, Lila, she barked. But when class ended, she pulled Lila aside again. You okay, kid? You look like you've seen a ghost. Lila hesitated, then spilled everything: the text, the man, the footsteps. Coach Tara's face hardened. Stay sharp, she said. Some people don't like surprises, especially when a nobody beats a champion. Watch your back. Lila nodded, but her mind was racing. Was Marcus behind this? Or was it something bigger? She remembered her brother's old jujitsu notebook tucked away in a box under her bed. He'd written strange notes in the margins, things like, the circle watches and strength draws eyes. She'd never understood them, but now they felt like clues. Had her brother been caught up in something dangerous? Was that why he disappeared? That night, Lila dug out the notebook. Its pages were yellowed, the ink smudged, but she found a sketch of a symbol, a circle with a jagged line through it. Her heart skipped. She'd seen that symbol before, on a patch sewn onto Marcus's gym bag. Was Marcus part of something called the Circle? And was it connected to the man in the jacket? The next morning, Lila decided to confront Marcus. She found him at the gym, lifting weights in the corner. His eyes narrowed when he saw her. What do you want, Plain Jane? He sneered. Lila took a deep breath. Why do you have that circle symbol on your bag? And who's watching me? Marcus froze, his face going pale. For a second, he looked scared. Then he laughed. Too loud. You're crazy. Go back to your little grocery store. But as he walked away, Lila saw him pull out his phone and type furiously. That evening, Lila got another text from the unknown number. Stop asking questions. You're in too deep. Her hand shook as she read it. She wanted to run, to hide, to forget jujitsu, and go back to her quiet life. But something inside her, the same fire that made her fight Marcus, refused to give up. She was about to text Mia when her phone rang. It was Coach Tara, her voice urgent. Lila, get to the gym. Now. Someone broke in, and they left something for you. Lila's heart pounded as she grabbed her jacket and ran out the door, the night air cold against her skin. What had they left? And was it a warning gore? A trap? What was waiting at the gym? Lila's sneakers pounded the pavement as she ran to the gym, her breath puffing in the cold night air. The streets were empty, but every shadow seemed to move. Coach Tara's urgent call echoed in her mind. They left something for you. Her heart raced. Was it the man in the jacket? Marcus? Or the circle her brother's notebook mentioned? She clutched her phone, ready to call Mia if things went wrong. The gym's front door was ajar, its glass cracked like a spider web. Inside, the lights flickered, casting eerie shadows across the mats. Coach Tara stood near the locker room, her face grim. Over here, she said, pointing to a wall. Lila's stomach twisted. Spray painted in red was the circle with a jagged line, huge and menacing. Below it, a note was pinned to the wall with a knife. Lila's name was scrawled on it in sharp, angry letters. She stepped closer, her hand shaking. Coach Tara handed her the note. It read, "You don't belong here. Leave or you'll end up like him." Lila's knees buckled. Like him? Did they mean her brother? Was he gone forever? Tears stung her eyes, but anger burned hotter. Whoever they were, they knew about her past and they were scared of her. "Who did this?" Lila whispered. Coach Tara shook her head. "I don't know." The cameras were smashed. "But this isn't a prank, Lila. You've kicked a hornet's nest." She hesitated, then added, "I heard rumors about a group called The Circle. They're tied to underground fighting, big money, and bad things. Marcus might be involved." Lila's heart sank. The symbol on his bag, his nervous reaction, it was all connected. Coach Tara offered to drive Lila home, but Lila refused. She needed to think. As she walked back, her mind raced. The Circle wanted her gone, but why? Was her win over Marcus a threat to them? And how did her brother fit in? At home, she locked the door and pulled out his notebook again. A new clue caught her eye. A phone number scribbled next to the words, "If you're in trouble." Her hands trembled as she dialed it. A gruff voice answered. "Who's this?" Lila froze, then said, "I'm Lila. My brother he knew about the Circle." Silence. Then the voice softened. "You're his sister? Meet me tomorrow, midnight, at the old warehouse on 5th Street. Come alone." The line went dead. Lila's heart pounded. Was this a lead to her brother or a trap? The next day, Lila went to jiu-jitsu class, hoping to find Marcus. He was back, smirking like nothing happened. During sparring, he paired with Lila, his grip rougher than necessary. "You're playing a dangerous game, Plain Jane," he hissed. Lila twisted free, her anger flaring. "What's the Circle, Marcus? What did they do to my brother?" His eyes widened, but before he could answer, Coach Tara called time. That night, Lila stood outside the warehouse, the air thick with tension. She checked her phone 11:59 p.m. A figure stepped from the shadows, his face hidden under a hood. "You're brave, Lila," he said, "but you're not ready for what's coming." He pulled back his hood, revealing a scar across his cheek and eyes that looked just like her brother's. Was he her brother, or someone far more dangerous?